So a lot of you might not be really thrilled about what I'm going to have to say next.
And yes, I'm on the R1.
A lot of the times you dealt some shitty cards.
Oh no, it's hosed.
Majority of you have already seen that the R1 has completely broken down. And there's really only one way to recover from it.
I am not doing a GoFundMe.
You know, drastic times calls for drastic measures. I'm going to explain here in a minute what all this means. Chances are, you'll probably never see her again.
So some of you may be really confused with what's going on with the R1. You may or may not be following me on Instagram. You might want to be if you're not, but some information was released there about the R1. I'll go ahead and fill you in. I went out for a ride with Hunter yesterday now, and I took the R1. We were doing a photo shoot vlog, taking a bunch of pictures of both his and my bike. And no offense to the CBR, but man, the R1 is just way more photogenic. It's a very pretty bike, so decided to take that, and that was a fatal mistake. Like halfway through our ride, we're in the middle of nowhere. For the people who are familiar with it, I was about 22 miles south of Marble Falls on 281, so pretty far out there. And I lost power to a cylinder, and thinking, okay, well, you know, I've ran cars with only 3 out of 4 cylinders running, no problem. I figured let's at least get to the city, which was 20 miles away, and get it towed or have someone get us somewhere closer. So as we're going, I mean, not even a mile down the road, doing about 70 miles an hour, and it explodes. I mean, there's really no other way to explain it. It just exploded. In this loud explosion, it was just oil everywhere. So I had my hand off, the left hand off the bar, because I was talking to Hunter, and I talk with my hands quite a bit, and it was just bam, and the whole bike just started like wobbling. Hunter was like freaking out on the intercom for a second. So what had happened was the connecting rod shot through the engine case, through the front, and just blew every bit of oil out. So it coated the back tire instantly in oil and most of the front tire, and it was just slick sliding, and the engine seized up, so the tire was just basically slipping until I pulled the clutch. Why were you trying to get into the lane when I'm right here? I was able to get off the road without an incident, so I didn't get hurt, which is a big success in my book. I mean, a part of me wished that I had gone down at low speed where I wouldn't be hurt, but the bike would be wrecked, because now there's no insurance coverage that covers like mechanical failure, so it's all on me to get this thing fixed. And when you have a big ass hole in the side of the motor, after a cylinder quit working, I mean, I've got top and bottom end damage. The motor is done. I mean, it's I don't really even need to bring it to a mechanic at this point to know that it's going to be a massive fucking job. So I'm going to tell you something I will not be doing. I will not be doing a GoFundMe. Okay, so I know a lot of people in this situation, when the bike is totaled and you got nothing to fall back on, a GoFundMe is what would happen. But in my case, I am not doing a GoFundMe. The reasons being, I have a job. I have a decent job, and although this is putting me out, and this is like $2,000 I'm not gonna want to spend, that's on me. That's not on anybody else, and it's not fair to say I want you guys to help me pay for this, even though I do have a full-time 9-to-5 job. And I know there are people out there that are willing to pay that or willing to help out, and I appreciate that. I honestly do, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. But the most support I can get from you guys is basically just watching my videos. I would prefer support that way, of watching my videos, subscribing, sharing. I prefer that support over any sort of monetary value that you guys can give me. I honestly do not want any money. I can handle this, but having said that, this is how we're gonna have to do this. As you guys know, I have 3 motorcycles right now, and you know, that's a lot, like 2 more than most people have, sometimes 3 more than most people have, so it's almost even doubly unfair to ask for handouts in this situation. So I have a lot of money tied up in this hobby, so to speak, right now of motorcycles, and that's financially not something I should be doing. So although it might not be the most fun sounding plan or the most ideal plan, we're gonna have to pull the adult card out, and we're gonna have to sell the WR to fund the cash to fix the R1. And you know, all is said and done, I have to weigh in the positives and negatives. I have to do the math on a lot of different things, and this is the math that counts. So I put a ton of money into that WR, and what I have into it is worth more than I'll get out of it, which is why I've been hanging on to it, is because there's no point in me selling it. But in the flip side, it's tangling up cash. So as much as I do love that WR, we're gonna have to sell it. So if someone does really want to support this whole fund and wants to donate or something, I urge you to, instead of donating, buy the WR if you really want to, and I'll sell it to you. I got a clear title on it. Our house in the middle of the street, our house is smoking down the highway. That doesn't look good. I mean, there's smoke coming out of the back of that thing. That can't be very good. So what's gonna happen to the R1 is it will be fixed. We'll get it fixed. I have to buy the new motor for it after the funding is done by selling the WR. So you're not gonna really see any more WR vlogs, maybe a handful. There's gonna be one more R1 vlog from the day it blew up, which the unfortunate part is not that the bike is blown up. The cameras were off, so my GoPro was off, Hunter's GoPro was off, everyone's GoPros were off, so nobody caught it. That's like the only redeeming part that could have happened. It's not gonna happen, so don't look for footage of it breaking, but there will be footage from before it broke from the photo shoot vlog. But once it's fixed, so this is a numbers game at this point. The R1 was not bought as a bike for me to keep for a while. This bike was not intended for me to hold on to, and the way the cards landed, I ended up holding on to it longer than I wanted to. So once it's fixed, I will not be holding on to it. It will be sold. It will be sold relatively quickly, and we're gonna call this whole thing back to basics, since we're gonna only be on the CBR from now on for a while, just like it was in the beginning. Nothing wrong with that. Just kind of have to, I mean, consider it like a juice cleanse of motorcycles. We're just cleaning out your systems, just getting rid of all the negativity and just starting over. So there are other plans after that. Oh, that looks sketch as fuck. These guys are towing each other. Oh, that's always freaking me out. I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's one of those things that I don't want to say something and then have it not happen. Dude, you pull up to the car in front of you and then stop. You don't slowly try and creep up. Look, you got like a whole car's length in front of you, and you're probably gonna end up creeping up. I love that body style of R1. I do. That's like 3 generations old now. Of course you're rolling forward. I really do, but it's not in my cards, I don't think. It's just not. I'm not gonna be able to own a freaking 10-year-old motorcycle and have it be reliable, especially an R1. So that R1, I think that's gonna be my brief. Oh, I had an R1 once for a while. So it comes down to something I always say: shit happens when you party naked. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.